knock it out.
So I came back, as I had realized at that point I was going to have to do anyway, and talked it through with Rick and said, here's my dilemma. I just don't know if I can put up with this anymore. I don't know if I can live like this any longer. This is not humane, and I'm not coping.
And here we were that evening, having to make some tough choices. It was a real pivotal moment for our relationship. Basically, what I had to realize is, one, that if I was going to be an effective partner, whether I was on the tour or not, I had to learn how to listen and understand before I tried to be understood. It's a tough one. And I also realized that our relationship was worth fighting for, and that together we were stronger.
She helped in such a huge way as a friend and as a mentor, as somebody who I really respect. And she helped me. She helped me gain perspective, in a way that that beyond relationships helped me make big decisions that were for life, and that helped me reinforce just what integrity is all about. And in the end, you can walk away from a journey and you can look back and you can go, yeah, that was a tough one. But whether it was successful or not, that's not the defining moment. It's how you carry yourself, and yeah, she was there.
Fishing is important because it's who I am, what I believe in, what I like to do, and so I just have to make sure that I schedule it in. And there's lots of reasons why I shouldn't be out in the water on a day like today, but the more important reason is the one I'm focusing on, which is taking that time.
We're heading upriver here towards Strawberry Island, which is renowned for its sturgeon pools.
The art for me is just to stay in touch with who I am, and then live it as authentically as I can, because I don't want to be one of those people that wakes up on the edge of a deathbed and looks back on the life and goes, can't believe it. I should have been asking those questions 30 years ago, and I'm trying to ask those questions now. What is important?
This is the baby, but there's a nice little sturgeon there. They're very prehistoric. In good shape? Yep. Look at that. See, that's why you use barbless hooks.
I think he's trying to talk.
Yeah. Great. Well, good job, you guys. There's one. All right. It's a small one.
You figured it'd be finished when?
We hope to finish in the spring of '87.
Around the world, people took notice of the man in motion and his message. But after 17 months, the tour had raised only $174,000 and was in danger of being branded a failure. Rick's cousin Lee had left in New York, and 2 new members had joined by the time the tour returned to Canada.
After going all around the world, when he crossed the border into Newfoundland, back into Canada, the tour was a failure. Financially. And all of a sudden, those people in Newfoundland who didn't have any money were there with quarters and dimes and dollar bills.
The Man in Motion tour was a Canadian success story. Wheelchair ramps were going up and curbs were being lowered. In Thunder Bay, Rick stopped at the spot where Terry Fox had to end his journey. Recognizing the wave of public and corporate support, governments got on board. Millions of dollars poured in. Over 95% of the money raised by the tour was collected in Canada. But more than money, the tour gave recognition and hope to disabled people everywhere.
Feeling. I can't believe it. I almost think I'm in a dream or something.
The day after the tour ended, 50,000 people attended a celebration for Rick Hansen at BC Place Stadium in Vancouver. 20 years later, Rick is still a man in constant motion, working harder than ever to turn his dreams into reality.
Anytime you want to talk, you call me, okay? All right, buddy. All right. Work hard, man. And make the best of what you got. Okay. All right.
I believe that in this century, the wheelchair will be something that you'll see in a museum. It's easy to say, I'm going to wheel around the world to help find a cure, but I came to realize that there's more money to raise, there's more systemic barriers that prevent the scientists from working together. There's more leaders that have to be inspired and encouraged to believe in their dreams so that they can actually unleash their magic and their potential.
Rick helps unleash that potential through his foundation's ambassador program. By sharing their personal stories, Rick Hansen Foundation ambassadors help raise awareness about living with spinal cord injuries. Shira Golden became an ambassador after her rock climbing accident.
When I was first injured, I didn't really have a sense of what I'd be able to do on my own, if I could manage my own life, if I could chart my own course. And what inspires me about Rick Hansen is that he's not afraid to try and achieve something that everyone else says is impossible to achieve. I think that's inspiring to anyone.
I was asked to be a national ambassador this year, and I'm super excited about that. You get someone like Rick Hansen leading, and there's nothing you can do but follow as quickly as you can.
Get set, go! Oh, we got some fantastic tactics here.
In 2003, Rick launched Wheels in Motion in communities across Canada.
It's going to be a great run, wheel, roll out there, and hope you have a fantastic time.
1, 2, 3, have a great run, race!
Money raised from this annual event is used to improve the quality of life of people with spinal cord injury and for research to find a cure.
He inspires me because he was a kid like me when it happened. He was 15. Since Rick Hansen's accident, it's improved so much. Like, when I had my accident, they just did everything perfectly.
How are you? How are you doing, man? You are such an inspiration. Oh, hey, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. When I was asked, I couldn't say no.
Since the Man in Motion World Tour ended, Rick has helped raise more than $178 million.
Early indications are that we've set a record, well over $100,000 closing in.
Some of that money is being used to build the world's largest and most advanced facility devoted to spinal cord injury.
Big dreams, it's about a huge team coming together, believing that anything's possible.
I give you the Blessing Center.
This 11,000 square meter, 6-story building at Vancouver Hospital will bring together one of the largest teams of spinal cord and related specialists in the world. When completed, this center will be one of the first to combine spinal cord research and care under one roof.
With every step along the way, there's been one new goal and new dream after another. But if I knew what I was getting myself into each time, I probably wouldn't have started. And that's the dynamic tension between the lessons.
Mr. Rick Hansen.
Hi guys, great to be here.
During his presentations, Rick likes to explain how his backup wheelchair was flattened on the first day of the Man in Motion World Tour.
Well, rather than just tell you about it, I'll show it to you because it was captured on national television right at that moment. They sent one of the crew members to climb up to the top of the motorhome to lift the bar up so the motorhome could pass through. And they said, hey, no problem, guys. We figured that one out. We're out of here. Bye now. Pow! Oh, man. Right on national television. I mean, some first step.
To this day, setbacks are still taken in stride by Rick.
At that moment,
I haven't changed. I am focused. I am determined, and I am sometimes very stubborn. And sometimes that's an asset, and sometimes that's a weakness. And it comes with the package.
Rick continues to push hard for a cure, but his perspective has changed.
I've come to realize that you don't need to be cured in order to be whole as a human being, and I guess that's the greatest lesson for me. Now with progress, to see people like Christopher Reeve, a respirator dependent, being a father, a husband, an actor, a director, a producer, an advocate for a cure for spinal cord injury, and life had no limitations, and he lived it to its fullest.
Rick has also created a school program and awards program to inspire youth to reach for their dreams and be the best they can.
Here we are, at the age of 15, all of a sudden, boom, here's a real challenge, and you can't ignore it. You got to work through it. That changed, I think, my work ethic, my my belief that you've got to be able to focus, and you can't just say, it's tough, so I'll do something else.
Rick is joined at the foundation by several members of the original Man in Motion World Tour, including his friend Don Alder, who was with him when he was injured.
I wanted to say a special thank you to somebody who's been helping me out for a long time. That's Don Alder over here, my buddy.
It's one of those weird things. I mean, we both have obviously different visions and stuff like that, and you can battle each other, do this and that and whatever. There's just that little fine thread of trusts in each other and loving each other that keeps it going forward.
When I asked him if he'd come here to help me today to do the slides and the video, he said for sure.
But yeah, he's my buddy.
Their friendship has sustained over the years, and so has Rick's love for the outdoors. Today, he chairs both the Fraser River Sturgeon Conservation Society and the Pacific Salmon Endowment Fund Society.
I firmly believe that Rick is who I was meant to be with, and how we got there, I don't know, fate, karma, whatever.
A few months after the tour ended, Amanda and Rick married. Today, they still live in the first home they bought, just outside of